Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about something that most people have no idea about. There's something dark happening behind the scenes. It's organized, it's calculated, and it's not just paranoia, it's real. This video is about gangstalking, rogue operatives, and one man who tried to tell the truth, Ted Gunderson, a former high-ranking FBI agent who blew the whistle on what he called an evil covert illegal program, targeting innocent people. Ted Gunderson wasn't just some random guy. He was a special agent in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles division. We're talking 700 plus agents under him. He ran the show. He had access to the inside. But after he retired, Ted started looking into things. Survivors of abuse, satanic ritual abuse, gangstalking. People started coming to him with stories too wild for the media to touch. Instead of ignoring them, he listened. He investigated, and he spoke up. He was one of the first insiders to call out what's really going on in America, and he paid the price for it. In 2011, Ted signed a sworn affidavit legal testimony under oath. He said there's a network of rogue government operatives working inside agencies like the FBI, CIA, and NSA, running a program of covert harassment and electronic surveillance. He called it gangstalking and said thousands of people in the US are being targeted, tracked, harassed, and isolated for no legal reason. It's being done with military-level surveillance, GPS, wiretaps, hidden cameras, and even poisoning, and no one's being held accountable. He said these groups are connected to organized crime, corrupt law enforcement, cults, and even some community groups. People you'd never expect are being used to break targets down, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually.
So, I took a signed statement from Pam, put her on tape, sent it to Buck Revell, number 2 man of the FBI at the time, who used to work for me in Philadelphia. He was the head of the bank robbery squad. And I told Buck and the FBI, I said, you guys, I said, first you try to get me, prosecute me in Dallas. It was right here in Dallas, by the way. With your investigations, 3 investigations and all. I was 2 days away from being indicted by grand jury here, by the way. That's another story, and I don't have time to tell it. He said, first you try to get me in Dallas, and now you set this girl up on me. I said, you guys are Bush. Now, for you ladies that don't know what that means you're minor league. Okay? Guys that know baseball know that's what it is. So what else has happened to me? Well, I've had surveillances on me galore. I've had people planning on me, probably 18, 20 people planning on me in the last 28 years. I've had burglaries. They've come into my house, even when I'm asleep. They put a penny on the foot of my bed one night when I was there. One night I went to bed at midnight. I got up at 3 o'clock to relieve myself. My bathrobe when I went to bed was at the foot of my bed. And I got up and here's ceremonies laid out like a rug next to the bed. I've been a victim of cyber terrorism, threatening phone calls, hidden camera. I came home from a trip here within the last 5 or 6 weeks, month I guess it is. I was looking for a file on the table that I had in my apartment, my house in Claytonia. And I couldn't find it. I was looking through, and I had a phone call, 8:27 a.m. And a male voice says, did you find the file? They had a camera in there, hidden camera in there. But they have cameras now that the size of the end of a pinpoint of a needle. Had threatening phone calls, cyber terrorism, hidden cameras, stolen. My car's been stolen. I've had gang stalking on me, lug nuts removed. I've had flat tires. My window's been shot out twice. Both times I was standing near the window. I have had TV surveillance of me. They can monitor you through the cable television, by the way, even if it's off. I've had threatening letters, and most recently, I've been the victim of a disinformation program by a guy named Stu Webb and other individuals. And Stu Webb has actually put out word that I was kicked out of the FBI for practicing satanic ceremonies in the federal building. Okay, and you know what? After that disinformation came out, my speaking tours came down to nothing, really. I was doing a lot of lectures before that. And we have enough idiots out there that believe this off the internet, because it's on the internet, that it really affected my opportunity to get the word out. But this is what they had in mind. It's called a disinformation program. And then the most recent thing, and I will close in just a minute. I have 1 minute left. But the latest thing to me is I moved a year ago last May, a year ago last May, from Las Vegas, Nevada. I had a condominium there. I had Next door was somebody I never saw. And across the hall was an individual who was a security guard. And I'm sitting at my desk, and I can't think. I don't know what's happening. I can't read. I can't do it. I realized that something's happening to me. A friend of mine came in about 11:30 at night. Said, "You're sick. Call the paramedic." Paramedics came, took my blood pressure to get to the hospital. I had blood pressure of 242 over 119. And so I knew that there was a serious problem. I had blood tests, and I had arsenic and cyanide in me. I was being poisoned, and I knew this. Within 2 weeks, I left Las Vegas. Called John DeCamp in Claytonia, Nebraska, and I said, "John, I'm getting out of here." He said, "Come on back. I've got a place for you to stay." And I now live in Claytonia, Nebraska, about 2 blocks from John DeCamp. Anyway, I was being poisoned. And there's other stories about the poison. They've tried to poison me when I'm driving down the street. They have a device that you put in the back of a car, and they pump the poison out, and you're behind it, and you can't. They block you in. Car in the front, car beside you, car behind you. But it hadn't worked because I've caught on to it. But anyway, I was being poisoned in Las Vegas in my condo, and I was able to overcome that as soon as I moved. I just loaded up on vitamins and what have you. Okay, I was asked a few moments ago before I came on board the reason for the terrorist movement. By the way, the reason for the terrorist movement is they create these terrorist acts. The government does this covert operation in order to establish the Homeland Security and in order to write the Patriot Act, take away our constitutional rights and civil liberties. There are prison camps that have already been set up. There are railroad cars, 3-tier railroad cars, and I've seen them personally, that have shackles in them. I didn't see the shackles, I saw the car. And there are big plans for the next terrorist attack, I think, to pick up a bunch of us as a red, blue, and green list and haul us off to these concentration camps.
Ted believed these rogue operations have one goal: total control. They don't just target criminals, they go after whistleblowers, activists, people who speak out, victims of abuse, people who challenge authority, even folks who refuse sexual advances or know too much. It's about keeping people quiet and isolating the ones who might fight back. It's about testing their control systems so they can roll it out wider. We, the targeted individuals, are the lab rats for the bigger plan. Ted wasn't just talking about harassment. He said this is a part of a global control takeover. Governments are being infiltrated, laws are being changed, chaos is being created on purpose through road rage incidents, active shooters, mass surveillance, censorship, and gun control. They create the crisis, then offer the solution, which always means less freedom and more control. Ted believed in the idea of a new world order, a centralized global power system run by elites, using fear and division to control us. And gangstalking? That's the enforcement arm. Ted was passionate about getting the truth out. He went to conferences, he made YouTube videos, he interviewed victims, he called out the corruption loud and clear. He told us if we don't expose this now, it'll grow. It'll expand from isolated targets to mass surveillance and population control. Look around, that's exactly what's happening today. In 2011, Ted Gunderson died. The official story, cancer. But many who knew him say the details didn't sit right. He had been receiving threats. He had been poisoned before. He told friends he believed that they were trying to silence him. Right before his death, he was still exposing deep government operations. Then suddenly he's gone. Coincidence? Maybe. But when a man's that outspoken and then drops dead, you start to wonder. This whole system of harassment is growing. More people are waking up, but more are being silenced too. If you talk about gangstalking, they call you crazy. If you expose the system, they blacklist you. We're living in a time where truth is treated like a threat. But the more they push, the more people are starting to see it. The question is, what will you do with that awareness? If you're targeted, don't let this break you. Ted Gunderson stood up for people like us. He told us to stay strong, document everything, and keep speaking the truth. Here's what I've learned in my targeting. Stay confident. Don't let them see you shaken. Don't react. They want you to snap so they can arrest you or label you. Stay stoic to the bone and act like nothing phases you. And pray, because in the end, the battle is spiritual. Ted Gunderson left us a warning. He risked his life to get the truth out. He exposed rogue networks and global control agenda way before most people even heard of gangstalking. Now it's up to us to carry the torch. Stay strong, don't back down, and never forget you're not crazy. You're not alone, you're being targeted because you matter. And the truth, it's stronger than their lies. We don't fight fire with fire. We fight with wisdom, faith, and strength. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.